What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Season 21, Episode 6 of Hitting the Fields. We have a great show for you, as always. First, we will be starting with some NFL next head coaches, as there's definitely some on the hot seat. I won't tell you who yet. And then segment 2, we will be talking some MLB playoffs because it's been electric thus far. And then finally, we will be talking about the NHL season, which starts tomorrow. So you won't want to miss any of this because Hitting the Field starts right now.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated chance, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back, okay? Always locked in, I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check the stats. Boy, is you ready? You ain't gotta ask.
And welcome back. Joining me, I have 2 Hitting the Field Network debuts. To my right is Francisco Vera. How are you doing, Francisco?
I'm good, Nick. Thank you for having me.
Anytime. And then to my left is Judah Wells. How are you doing, Judah?
I'm doing well. I am excited and ready to talk about, spoiler alert, Jesse Minter a little bit.
Okay, absolutely. Judah Wells is doing well. So there's some NFL head coaches on the hot seat. That's not necessarily what we're talking about, but we will spend a second to talk about the Dolphins and Mike McDaniel because I have to every single week because I get more and more depressed every single week. How do we lose to the Panthers? Mike McDaniel, as of right now, 201 on October 6th, has not been announced as fired, but I expect it this week. Just losing to the Panthers is unacceptable.
No, you can't have that.
Unless you're the Falcons, it just doesn't happen. The Panthers are terrible. And then the next head coach that is on the hot seat, at least in my opinion, Arizona Cardinals, Jonathan Gannon.
Yeah.
The way they lost to the Titans, absolutely insane. It was like Looney Tunes. Like they catch an interception, then fumble it, and then Tyler Lockett recovers it in the end zone for a touchdown. Yeah. Are we serious? To the Titans, the winless Titans. Brian Callahan is our third coach, definitely on the hot seat. He is still on the hot seat. I don't think that win saves anything because the Cardinals shot themselves in the foot, and so did Jonathan Gannon, in my opinion. I digress. That Cardinals play. Okay, I don't digress yet. That Cardinals play was so terrible. It was like the craziest thing since. Did you guys see Natasha Bedingfield singing 6'7" at her concert?
Yes.
Yes. How obscure was that? Same obscureness as the Cardinals play. Okay, we're moving on. My first NFL coach that I think is next to be a head coach is Chris Shula of the Rams. This guy is the nephew of legendary Mike Shula. Perfect season in Dolphins history. Best coach ever, not ever in the NFL, but in Dolphins history. Chris Shula is just doing amazing work with the Rams. He has them as a top 10 defense, only allowing 309 total yards per game, which is 10th. And then, they just have a great run defense and pass defense. He develops talent like nobody else does with Byron Young and Jared Verse. No one expected Jared Verse to be as good as he was last year, I don't think. Maybe some people did. Maybe they're lying. Poona Ford, Kobe Turner, all these guys that he develops, it works out. And so I think he is next in line to be a head coach. I would love him on the Dolphins. I said this at some point last year. So that would be my pick to replace him. Any thoughts on Chris Shula?
I like Chris Shula a lot.
Yeah?
I think the kind of him turning Jared Verse into a dog
Insane.
is definitely propelling him into the next head coach race. I definitely do agree with you. The Dolphins do need somebody who's defensively minded.
Yeah.
Like Brian Flores, for example, who used to be with the Dolphins. He was defense first, and he kind of brought that gritty mentality to the Dolphins and kind of made sure that everybody was on check. Mm-hmm. Everybody had the right mentality going into the game, and we need something like that in the Dolphins urgently.
And we'll get to Brian Flores a little bit later. But Judah, you are up next talking about Jesse Minter.
Jesse Minter is the man. Everywhere he goes, he just wins. I mean, his first year with the Chargers was last year. Obviously, they didn't win a Super Bowl, but they looked good for his first year in the NFL, he looked like he belonged, you know? And I think if we go back to when he was coaching for Michigan with Harbaugh, that defense was locked down the whole year. And I mean, you see it in the national championship versus that dynamic Washington offense. He shut them down enough, and they stood their ground enough to get that W. And if we're looking at potential going forward, I think he's young. I think he's ready for that next step. All he does is climb the ladder. So it's just logical to think, you know what, Jesse Minter's ready for that next level of head coaching.
Yeah, I mean, most of the Chargers' defensive stats this season are top 10, like we talked about with the Rams.
Yeah.
4th in the league in passing yards allowed per game.
Yeah.
And you see it on the graphic, only 941 in the league thus far, which does rank 7th. And then also 7th in total yards per game with just under 300. So Jesse Minter, I completely agree with being the next head coach in the league.
For sure.
I mean, Harbaugh is great at developing talent.
He is. Just being around Harbaugh means success usually. I mean, if we're talking about where he could go, I would love him to go to the Dolphins. You guys were talking about defensive-minded. I think he's perfect.
Yeah?
I think he's perfect. I mean, what that Dolphins offense needs is a consistent Dolphins defense that they can rely on as a crutch whenever things start going wrong, like they often do.
I completely agree.
So.
You're a Dolphins fan too?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Nice.
So
Congratulations.
Unfortunately.
On what?
Maybe Jesse Minter. We'll see. I don't know.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
I guess you're right about that. Francisco, we're going to move on to your first pick. Who is it?
I'm going to go with Cliff Kingsbury. You know, when you hear the name Cliff Kingsbury, you automatically think of Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
And that Aggies offense that was ranked 3rd in that season when he won the Heisman, averaging about 598 yards of total offense, I believe.
Yeah.
So obviously, when it comes to Cliff Kingsbury, his job as an offensive coordinator is stellar. You know, he's on his 2nd season with the Commanders, but he worked with Jaden Daniels, who set the rookie record for most rushing yards at his position. And the Washington offense is also tied for the franchise record with 2nd most total points in a season with 485. And they ranked among the top 3 in rushing and total yards in team history. However, when you mention his head coaching experience, you do have some duds.
Yeah.
He does show potential, as we saw with the Cardinals when he went 11-6, but his overall record with the Cardinals is 28-37-1.
Not great.
But offensively, you have the argument that you have an offensive mastermind being able to kind of, I guess, nourish the next generation of quarterbacks, maybe getting the next franchise quarterback for whatever franchise he ends up going to. But then you have a question on defense.
Yeah.
So
Big question.
I think that Cliff Kingsbury does have potential if you pair him up with someone that has experience in defense and someone who's proved that in whatever scheme that he might be, in whatever team that he might be, he shows off.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, you gave some pretty good background information. You know, Cardinals, that is what really stands out to me because he was not successful there. But didn't have a great defensive mind to complement him either. So I think that's a great point. I think he could be next in line as well. And I agree with all these picks. But I'm going to jump into my next pick of Joe Brady from the Bills, offensive coordinator. This guy he's
phenomenal. I love Joe Brady.
Ridiculous. I mean, he's a big part in Josh Allen winning MVP last year. Josh Allen has great talent, but some of these schemes and plays that Joe Brady designs for Josh Allen to succeed, that's the main reason why. And just some of the stats from this year, offensively, the Bills, 3rd in the league with over 30 points per game. And then they're 2nd with only to the Commanders, by the way, under Cliff Kingsbury, with over 150 rushing yards per game. James Cook, he signed a contract extension this offseason, and it is totally paying out for the Bills. Didn't have the best game last night, but that's besides the point. They still have over 150 rushing yards per game, 2nd in the league. And then their passing yards is top 10 as well, 7th to be exact, 241 passing yards per game. This offense is just clicking. And when you have someone like Josh Allen, who, by the way, we all know this, but is doing all this with a pretty poor supporting cast. His receivers are still not great. Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, and they brought back Gabe Davis. Not kind of a non-factor. Dalton Kincaid's having a great season, but Joe Brady, I think, is definitely next in line as well. While we move into our next pick. Judah, go for it.
You brought him up earlier.
Yeah.
Brian Flores. I'm sure Nick is not happy with this.
No.
But if we just think about head coaching on the field and what he was able to do with just purely record and football-related things, he's a good coach. And a lot of these teams, we keep talking about the teams that have a coach on the hot seat, they need a good defense, desperately.
Absolutely.
They need a good defense. And when he was at the Dolphins, they had 2 back-to-back winning seasons. He didn't get fired over a losing season. Then he goes to the Vikings after being fired for other reasons, and he's turned that defense around. I mean, so many parts of the Vikings team have been inconsistent the past 3 years, but if we're looking at the defense, they've maintained a high level of play since 2023. And I think that if someone were to look at his ability just purely as a head coach or his ability just as a defensive mind, he's a great candidate. He's been around Kevin O'Connell for 3 years. O'Connell is a brilliant mastermind with the offensive side of the football, defensive side of the football. He influences everybody. I think that he would be a success wherever he goes.
I completely agree. And you mentioned that I might not be thrilled about that pick. That's not necessarily true because I liked Brian Flores in Miami. Like you said, 2 winning seasons. It was a shock when he was fired. I remember that. But then it came out that he and Tua did not get along. So I think he deserves another chance. Moving on kind of quickly to our last pick, Francisco, Steve Spagnuolo.
Yes. I picked Coach Spags because obviously he's proved with the Chiefs that he's an outstanding defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
You know, in 2023, he was second in the NFL with the least amount of total yards per game with 289.8. And then he was second in the NFL in points per game as well with 17.3. So his defensive record is outstanding.
Yeah.
He was able to kind of help the Chiefs in 2023 to get their second consecutive Super Bowl. But then you look at him in the standpoint of a head coach, he's just not good.
Yeah.
He led the Rams to his worst season in history with a record of 1-15. So I think that's pretty much all I have to say to kind of give the viewer the question: is Spags a really good candidate for head coach?
I will say, just to wrap it up, Spags is probably the choice that we've made that I'm least confident in for 2 factors. Like you said, terrible as a head coach way back when.
Horrendous.
He's 65 years old, and he's also been a great defensive coordinator, just like Jim Schwartz. Same situation in Cleveland. They're great, they're succeeding, and Spags, at least, they're winning championships still.
Yeah.
So he might as well stick there. But that does do it for the segment. Thank you, guys. You did
Absolutely.
a great
Thank you.
job. After this commercial, we will be talking about some MLB, unfortunately, so don't go anywhere. Hi, sorry to interrupt your show, but I want to give you a little rundown of everything we do here at the Hitting the Field Network. My name's Nick Cohen, and I'm the host of Hitting the Field, our flagship show heading into season 21. Live streaming every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, we talk about anything and everything sports. Tuesdays, we have season 3 of Girls Got Game. Hosts Katie Sue Christensen and Mia Flores discuss all the biggest topics in women's sports. On Wednesdays, make sure to tune into season 7 of The Combine, hosted once again by Ty Patton. This podcast dives deep into every detail about the NFL season. Next on Thursdays, we live stream season 11 of HTF Bets, brought to you by Andrew Gregg, Diego Ortiz, and Ben Huber. Any sports betting questions? I'll let the pros answer those on Thursday. Then TGIF, because we have new episodes of season 9 of Nighttime, hosted again by Matthew Bracker and Kathleen Moore. Nighttime keeps you up to date on all UCF and collegiate sports. And ultimately, Edgar Rodriguez and Patrick De Leon are back for season 2 of HTFC. Soccer is a year-round sport, so make sure not to miss HTFC. Lastly, end your week on Sundays with our vlog squad, asking the hard-hitting questions and letting you behind the scenes of our studio days. Make sure to follow us on our social medias like Instagram and TikTok to stay updated on all HTFN news. Remember to subscribe to the Hitting the Field Network on YouTube, leave a like and comment, and with that, I think we're ready for your next segment. I've been Nick Cohen, and enjoy the rest of your show. And welcome back. As I mentioned, we are talking the MLB playoffs. To my left is Augie Aronson. How are we doing, Augie?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm so excited that we're talking
Yeah.
baseball.
Yeah,
What
I
a
was-
surprise
I was-
on main show.
I was forced to do this. It's
By
okay.
me, yeah.
So I had to have him on. But to my right, we have another new face for you guys. I said, filled with debuts, on-air debut, Joe Geiger. How are we doing, Joe?
I'm excited to talk about your favorite sport. Oh, it's going to be great.
So we're talking football again?
Nope.
Oh,
Major League Baseball postseason.
I feel like
October.
you might
It's
want to
been
talk.
electric, right?
Has been.
Okay.
I feel like you might want to talk more about some other sports though, as being a Dolphins fan is truly one of
true.
the worst things in sports right now. I don't wish that upon my worst enemies.
We're already talking baseball, and now you're crapping on the Dolphins.
You're the one that said, well, let's talk about football. So
Whatever.
we can talk about mediocrity.
Okay, well,
if
you know
want.
what? We can clown on some other people because the Yankees are not doing too great,
Shout
to
out
my
Edgar.
knowledge.
Shout
right?
out Edgar.
Shout out Edgar. I'm sorry, man. Yankees are currently down in the series against the Blue Jays by 2 games.
Yep, down 2 to
and
nothing.
They got 13 scored on them last night. Augie, jump into this game. I mean,
Yeah, so they played game 1 on Saturday, and then game 2 on Sunday, and they were massacres, to put it bluntly. I mean, Luis Gil didn't have a great start. Paul Blackburn, what is he doing coming out of a bullpen in 2025? There's nothing like postseason baseball, because some dude that you've never heard of ever in your life will run out of a bullpen in a game that you need, and he'll mess everything up. He'll come in with the bases loaded, and next thing you know, he still hasn't gotten out yet, and you see 7 runs on the board. I mean, Alejandro Kirk, that's who's on the screen right now. Luis Gil, goodbye baseball, that thing's long gone. Vladdy hit a grand slam yesterday off of, I mean, it was ridiculous. The Blue Jays just poured on runs. They've scored over 10 runs in back-to-back games.
23 runs in 2 games, 29 hits and 8 homers.
Yeah, this Yankees bullpen has been the worst bullpen in the postseason. They have a 9 ERA right now, and it's not looking pretty.
And then you get the start from Trey Savage. I mean, his first career start was in September.
disgusting.
He started the year in Dunedin for pitching for the Dunedin Blue Jays, and now he's pitching playoff baseball here in October. He gets 5 innings pitched, 0 hits allowed, 11 strikeouts against the Yankees in a Game 2 win. I mean, if you're getting quality starts like that out of a rookie in the playoffs, you have a chance to go a long way.
His splitter was just falling off the table. He gave the lefties for the Yankees a nightmare. And I can't wait for the pitching ninja breakdown of his pitching, because he was throwing sliders they were sliders, but they were going the opposite way. They had arm side run, which, if you don't know anything about baseball, your slider as a right-hander should not be going arm side. It should be going that way. His was going that way. So it's a little backwards, but it looked like more like a screwball, but he was disgusting yesterday. And this Blue Jays team is looking great.
Yeah.
they are. I mean, Yankees fans like Edgar are in shambles.
That
But you guys
sucks.
were just talking about pitching. Let's pitch it over to a different game with a great pitcher in Tariq Skubal, the Tigers and the Mariners. This series has been great so far. It's tied up 1-1 in the second round. Take it away.
Yeah, 2, I'd say, pretty evenly matched teams. I mean, game 1, back and forth again. You had Zach McKinstry with the go-ahead single in the 11th inning to get the RBI. And then yesterday, another very close game. The Tigers came back. And then you had the Mariners with Julio Rodriguez with a clutch hit in the 8th. And then the bullpen, the back half of the Mariners bullpen is very good with Munoz and what's the other guy's name? I don't know. But back half's very good. And Jorge Polanco, 2 home runs off Tariq Skubal. And this was huge for the Mariners to win this game because they lost game 1, and then going in, you have to face Skubal. This was huge for them to get the win.
I completely agree. I mean, Skubal still had 9 strikeouts
Yeah.
in that game. This guy's just insane. Augie, any thoughts on this series?
Yeah, no, this is by far some of the most matched baseball we'll see. Some of the wild card rounds were pretty lopsided, but these 2 teams are pretty evenly matched. Both teams have great pitching staffs. Unfortunately for the Mariners, Brian Wu is not on the ALDS roster as he's hurt. That'd make a big difference as he is a all-star starter, but unfortunately he's not on the roster. So the pitching staff will have to carry a little bit. Some guys that might not have expected to get big innings in the postseason. But this is 2 teams with good offense, or okay offenses, besides Cal Raleigh, I feel like. But yeah, I kind of like the Tigers to take this one.
And the Tigers really only the only team in the first round to upset their opponent. They upset the Guardians, the 3 seed. Tigers were the 6 seed. Hopefully they keep it going. We're gonna keep it going to the next series. Dodgers and the Phillies. Dodgers are kind of underdogs in this one as a 3 seed, but they took game 1, and they played tonight.
Can you ever really say that?
Yeah, I
Dodgers
wouldn't
are
say the
underdog?
Dodgers. They just haven't
Well, I don't know baseball.
completely
Okay,
gelled
hot
this
take.
season.
I mean, I don't even think this is actually that hot. My prediction: the winner of this series wins it all.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not crazy to say. I mean, the Dodgers are starting to heat up. You got guys like Betts, Hernandez really starting to get things going. And if those guys can get hot, we already know how stacked that Dodgers lineup is.
Teoscar hit a 3-run homer.
3-run homer
pretty
to
much
win
win
it.
them the game.
Yep.
So yeah, I agree. This is this is the best matchup we're going to see all postseason, and unfortunately, it can't be in the end of the season.
Yeah.
And then we got 2 good starters going tonight. It's Blake Snell versus Jesus Luzardo. Anytime you can run Tyler Glasnow out of your bullpen,
Exactly. Yep.
your team is looking pretty.
It should be all right.
Yeah, this is the
And
evenly
yeah,
matched series.
must win for the Phillies. You can't go down 2-0 at home. The way the Dodgers came back in that game with Teoscar Hernandez, the late homer, they got a couple runs off Ohtani early, but for them to come back and win that game, the Dodgers, they're just really starting to get things together because they kind of were in and out this year. I mean, with that lineup, it's surprising that they had struggles this year, but just like last season, they got hot in the playoffs, went on to win the World Series. Hopefully we don't see it again, but it looks like it might be happening.
Hopefully not, as you said. But I mean, so do we think that you said that the winner of this series likely wins it all? So does that mean that in our final series, the Cubs and the Brewers, neither of them really stand a chance against either of those teams?
I like the Cubs to have a better chance than the Brewers.
Okay.
But
Upset?
I could see the Cubs potentially doing some damage. They got a good offense. They got a great pitching staff. But I just think both these teams are a little bit too talented to lose.
That's
Like
fair.
this series is probably the best series we'll see in a long time, and I think there's a reason why these two teams have had the success they had in the regular season, and they should win.
But
That's
I
fair.
mean, we've seen it before that the most talented team doesn't always win. I mean, Diamondbacks beat the Phillies a few years ago, and then you have other teams that have come back and won games that they shouldn't have won, where they're not exactly the best team on paper. So we'll see what happens. I wouldn't count out the Brewers just yet. I think they have a pretty great bullpen. They have the lowest bullpen ERA of the teams left in the postseason, and they had the lowest starter ERA in the regular season of teams left in the regular season. So Brewers Cubs, I mean, 9 runs in the first inning in Game 1. So I think the Brewers take this series and sets up a Dodgers-Brewers CS.
That'd be exciting. I mean, Game 2 is tonight, Augie.
Yeah, we got an interesting pitching matchup, I think, this week. We got Shota going for the Cubs, quality starter, all-star starter, guy who shuts it down. We have a bullpen game for the Brewers. It's Aaron Ashby's the opener. Like I said earlier, there's nothing better than a MLB postseason bullpen. You don't know what's going to happen. I could see the Cubs really taking this one and doing a lot of damage because at the end of the day, having 7 or 8 different pitchers out there, somebody's not going to have their best stuff. Somebody's going to get tagged, and it's probably going to be a couple guys who are not used to the moment quite yet. So I think this is a really intriguing one. And the Cubs did not play very well in Game 1. I expect them to bounce back.
Yeah? I mean, all right, so we're running out of time, but I must admit, you guys have convinced me a little bit that, you know, these playoffs are exciting. So maybe,
Have we convinced you enough to maybe run this back in a week when the series are over?
well, not in a week because we have something special planned next week, but
Yes,
maybe
we
after that.
do.
Maybe after that, we'll see. I know there's some games tonight, so maybe I'll tap in. We'll see. But thank you guys for joining me. After this commercial, we will be previewing the NHL season, so don't go anywhere.
You never got me anything for my birthday.
I don't even know what that is. I thought birthdays were every 100 years like the Kids' Choice Awards.
What?
Ah, finally, he's here, man. He's always late.
Who? Marcus?
You good?
I'd give them one of these and one of these.
Behind every on-screen moment is a whole team of engineers and technologists.
And you can be a part of such a team through SMPTE at UCF. You'll join a team of students just like you who are ready to innovate the future of TV and film.
With SMPTE at UCF, you'll be able to connect with local industry pros, learn about new technology in the industry, as well as get backstage experience that really matters. Join SMPTE for a backstage pass to all of this.
We meet every last Monday of the month for our general body meetings. There, we discuss how new technology is being used to create new media, and we get to highlight local professionals and their specialties.
On top of that, we have some site visits planned, so tune into our social media to be notified of when those will happen.
So if you're ready to pull back the curtain and find out what really happens behind the scenes, join SMPTE at UCF.
And welcome back. We have some hitting the field regulars, but I hope you guys are doing good. We don't have a lot of time for this NHL season preview as the season kicks off tomorrow. We have a triple header starting off with the Panthers Blackhawks game at 5 p.m. Now, the Panthers, back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, they are missing Barkov for the whole season, so it's going to be a rough one, but I think the roster is still plenty talented. Scott, any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I don't really like talking about the Panthers that much as a Lightning fan.
Yep.
I have to mention it every time I have a fandom. But
Every time.
Yeah, every single time. Sam Bennett, you know, he has that Conn Smythe trophy ahead of him. You know, he was a force to be reckoned with this last playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, in the Cup run. Sam Reinhart, monster performance, like Game 6 of the finals. He scored 4 goals to help clinch the Cup. Alexander Barkov, of course, he's got that ACL and MCL tear that's rough. But, yeah, I mean, I've got the Panthers taking it over the Blackhawks. I mean, Connor Bedard, he's still in his young years, but it's still definitely a rebuilding phase. The Blackhawks had a really, really rough season last season. I think it was
25-46, yeah.
Yeah, 25-46. That is a rough season.
Almost double the losses. I mean,
gosh.
Not good. I'm not hoping, but hopefully they're hoping that they bounce back. Austin, any thoughts on this game?
I mean, honestly, I think Scott said everything pretty good there. I mean, in regards to Blackhawks versus Panthers, Panthers are going to win easily.
Oh,
Okay, perfect.
And also, not to steal your thunder here, the Panthers Lightning game in the not the playoffs, the preseason, where I think it was 8-0, it took a goal away, 7-0. I just want to say, it's a gritty rivalry right now between the Lightning and the Panthers, and the Panthers left the Lightning bench with 4 players at one point in the game.
We're just that good, you know. We're just that good.
Or the Lightning's just that undisciplined.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Oh.
We're going to move on to our next game, Austin. We are talking the Penguins, Rangers. Break this game down for us.
Okay, so I'm not going to lie. I think the Rangers are going to win. It kind of hurts to say it. I'm a diehard Penguins fan, you know, especially.
Really? You are a Steelers fan.
In my family, I'm the only Floridian. All my family's from Pennsylvania.
Wow.
So, not going to lie. I'm optimistic. I hope the Penguins win. I do hope that, but I don't see it. I mean, was it Dan Hughes? He's making his NHL coaching debut. We also have a lot of new players on the Penguins. And honestly, the NY Rangers, I just feel like they have it better. I mean, Penguins didn't make playoffs last year or anything like that. And this is going to be a comeback, slow comeback for the Penguins. I don't see them making playoffs this year, not going to lie. I see it being a slow comeback. Next season, for 2026 to 27, maybe I could see something. But, yeah. The Rangers for sure.
Yeah, it's a rebuild. Scott, any thoughts on this game?
I mean, both teams missed the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
They had struggles in their own ways. The Penguins are still having trouble letting go of their veterans. All respect to Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, and Chris Letang. They're legends, undisputed. But I've got the New York Rangers taking this game. Obviously, we have Artemi Panarin last season. He had 89 points, which is insane. Despite having a rough year. I mean, we have regression from the veterans, but I'll take the Rangers.
Not to mention, it's home court for the Rangers.
Oh, home court.
Home ice,
we got
maybe.
Igor in
Yeah,
there.
home ice, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But we don't have much longer. We're going to move into our final game, Avalanche Kings. Brief thoughts. Scott, I'll let you start.
I just want to say McKinnon should not have won the Hart Trophy. Should have been Kucherov. But
Yeah, okay.
their record was 49-29 last season. That's a great season. They finished 3rd in the Western Conference and 3rd in their division, the Central Division. Nate McKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, Cale Makar are all prominent. I mean, we've got Anze Kopitar for the LA Kings. You know, he's still playing for them. Talk about retirement home, sorry.
He's almost like 40 years old now, I think.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, there's just not really much competition here. It might be a hard-fought one because you never know what happens in hockey, but I just think the Avalanche are just so much of an unstoppable force here.
Yeah, I completely agree. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have for today's show, though. Thank you very much for tuning in. We will not have episode 7 next week, though, because we will be having our Hispanic Heritage Month special, so make sure to tune in then. But in 2 weeks, we'll see you again for episode 7. Thank you very much, and have a great rest of your day.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up